in a day. That's crazy. It's even crazier for Loco because he doesn't even have to split it with people. Holy crap, he must have been astounded. That's crazy. I actually kind of remember that. Was that the day of the lamps? I actually can't remember how much he made, but like, I remember there was something to do with lamps, and everyone was doing, here's one lamp, and then someone was like, here, have 5 lamps. Because his lamp was worth like €100 or something. I can't remember. But that's what I seem to think it was. But yeah, it was really just crazy. So if you're around last night and you just enjoyed the stream, first shout out to you guys because it was a lot of fun. Bottom left-hand side, we have our green Terran player. This is Aqueron. And he is taking a map off Stefano so far, so not bad in terms of starting out as Hellraiser. Well, he went 0-2 against Stefano. He is in the top right-hand side here on Autobaton. Get this set up and look to see what will happen in this Protoss versus Terran. Let's see how this goes. So, first PvT in a little while, because we actually didn't have any Protoss players yesterday in the map contest tournament, so going to be seeing a PvT on Autobaton here. It's a nice macro-focused map, which has an interesting gold base, which you can't mine from until you kill these rocks off. So if you do come out over here and get this base, you can essentially mine from the other side of these gold minerals, but it stops a Zerg from taking it safely and easily early on. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to get the gases though, so that is obviously something to keep in mind as well, but it could definitely be looked at as a bit of a mineral booster, as we have that SEV just on its way towards the upper right-hand side. Aqueron going to be sending that back up to scout. No shenanigans from Hellraiser though, as we do just see a Nexus is being established. Obviously just expanding early. No, sorry, I'm just looking at this as standard, but actually it's a not an expansion from Aqueron. He goes double gas here early on, so no expansion, no Reaper play or so on. This is just going to be him going straight in towards a factory. The reactor coming up on the barracks as well. So yeah, just going in towards this kind of factory setup. The one base play here from Aqueron to get things started. We'll see if he wants to expand late, but with the gas that he has, I think it's going to be reacted cyclones. Yeah, I mean, with the gas he has, I mean, even if he builds a starport, he's going to struggle to spend all of his gas. The reacted cyclones would definitely help out with that. Even still, you can actually afford a starport and reacted cyclones. So there you go, and the starport going to be proxied on the far right-hand side of the map. So starport starting up, going to get to about halfway done here in the near future, as we do see the robo facility is on its way in the main base. So robo about halfway done now. You just see this stalker from Hellraiser patrolling backwards and forwards. Couple cyclones still just on the way out now, so there's a couple cyclones pop. They'll be able to start heading across the map and start to pressure. Aqueron actually pulls these SCVs down to the low ground already. They're going to move across the map with the cyclones, it seems, to repair. And he's going to back this up with Hellions. Again, this is aggressive because now you have a tech lab on the starport, so you're going to be looking for a cloak Banshee follow-up as well. Going to be pretty crazy as we see these couple stalkers just sat around, and Shield Battery is just going to sit at the front. And more being Chronobus though, I mean, you know, Hellraiser knows this is one base play, so he knows what's going on. He's already responding to it, and you know, a couple extra gates, a high ground shield battery, and a mortal kind of already feels like he's setting up correctly. A shield battery on the low ground too. Sorry, it's a low ground shield battery. Obviously makes more sense if you want to actually save the natural. I mean, the immortal just clunks away at these cyclones. It really does so much damage, and at the moment, Hellraiser is just going to push Aqueron back. Alien very nearly going down too here. To the far right hand side, this Banshee's going to pop out very shortly as well. As Aqueron will still want to get ready to keep on pushing forwards. A few more Stalkers are going to be brought into play. So we'll see this group of Stalkers able to pick off the Marine here. So Marine gets taken down, and again another Banshee on the way up currently from this Tech Lab starport off over to the right hand side. Couple of gases coming up here from Hellraiser. And we do just see this Observer continue just come in overhead, just continue to get ready to see just what's going on. I mean, he's pretty well set up though. I mean, apart from the fact I guess he has no... Oh, he does have an Observer everywhere. He has triple Observer. Yeah, he's actually fine. He's going to see these Banshees now, so he should be able to react to this. He might get some damage done though. This Observer's not pulling back yet. Looks like he didn't quite notice those Banshees coming up the right-hand side, so They will start to get some probe kills here. 3, 4, 5 workers. Okay, Aqueron finding some damage at the moment. Starting to expand behind this as well. And as the Stalkers come in the main to deal with this, this could be the opportunity for the Cyclones to press forwards. The Hellions too decides not to though. Maybe just too busy microing those Banshees. But yeah, he could have come in and at least killed a pylon, I think, with a couple of Cyclones. All of these units continue to come along here, and we are just going to be having Hellions do dive into a mineral line, so they will actually get some damage done here. 3 workers killed, and they'll get a couple more shots off for 4 workers killed in total now so far. Yeah, and those couple of Cyclones being pushed away by the Stalkers and the Immortal. Again, 5 probes going down. Siege tank on the way up from Aqueron also, so that's still coming in. A few Marines just gathering on the low ground. And again, the command center will be finishing up here in a few moments' time, allowing Aqueron to morph in an orbital and be on 2 bases. So now he's 2 base against 2 base. 30 to 39 workers. Obviously, usually a 9 worker lead is normal for Protoss, but you've got to remember that there's not been an extra mule all this time. So obviously it's not been amazing for Aqueron. Army size is currently similar, but the income is still very Hellraiser focused. And that obviously again will change as this saturation starts to get corrected. SCVs are done transferring, but it is still just extra seconds where Hellraiser is just eking out a little bit more every few seconds. Colossus production started from Hellraiser 2, so I love it when we see like a 1-base play that turns into a macro game. You know, sure, you might not have both of the players in their usual spots or their usual ways of playing, but you still get into kind of really fun scenarios sometimes, and good to see, especially in the map contest tournament, that we'll get to see a bit more of Automaton here. A map that we haven't seen too much of compared to some of the others, although the amount of times we've seen each map is starting to even out just a little bit. Observer moves into the main base and just keeps track of what's happening, just keeps track of timings. Seeing, for example, a third Rax here. Raven is actually on the hunt, though. Seems as though Aqueron knows this Observer is somewhere nearby. The Cyclones have been repaired and brought back online to the upper right side now, but I mean, the most they can really hope for probably is a third Nexus kill cancel just as it comes down. There's no way he's going to be able to genuinely push the front with this. Well, probe's starting to drop. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, make that 3 and now make it 4. And he's actually going to be able to get this Banshee out alive as well. That's really nice, because it means, of course, he can just come in again at a later point. Starport's still alive to the bottom right, and that's why he's going to start making his... He added a reactor to this in the last few moments. And with the reactor in play, it just saves him flying at home. It saves him starting a new one. It's a bit greedy, but honestly, he might just get away with it. 4 racks is not the usual number, however. Usually you see 5. Man, you know, I'm actually kind of excited for Aqueron's push, because he's got a couple of Ravens. He's got a couple of tanks. He's going to have some medevacs. Honestly, this could be kind of crazy. You push forwards, you interference Matrix, the Colossus, and the Immortal. The tanks see, like, this could be deadly. This push has to keep the Ravens alive, though. Has to connect with those. He has no upgrades behind this. Obviously, he's going to have Stim in combat, but he's not going to have this... he's not going to have this... 1-1 upgrade, right? So he's going to be already behind 1-1, and 2-2 is ticking along for the Protoss. So Aqueron is on a timer, but boy, does he have a lot of units. Now, Hallucinated Phoenix will see this coming. He knows it's on its way. I'd almost like to see Liberators added on here from Aqueron. Just another unit, or another couple of units that are going to go a long way towards zoning and just really being kind of a power unit here. That said, the medevacs are obviously going to be fairly useful as well. Cyclones to the side, killed off. And the Observer just keeping track of that Banshee in the back of the mineral line. And again, if you can just get Interference Matrix these Colossus, though, that would be insane. There is a Twilight Council. It has a built-up charge. Zealot count is good. It's just the Colossus. If they go down, is there really the damage output here to make this work? Aqueron has 2 full energy Ravens. Here you go, and Interference Matrixes are lined up right now. I promise you that's what he's going to throw down. And there you go already. The Colossus interferenced. That's going to force him to pull back. There's more Matrix to put down once those first ones expire. One of the Ravens nearly falls, but if he can get the Interference Matrix again, now he'll get one of them off. He gets 2 and 3. The tanks, though, are in some trouble. The Marines aren't hitting the Colossus. Okay, it's just going to be a bit too much anyways from Hellraiser. Nice pullback, and he was able to buy himself enough time. I think if he could take a fight with the initial Interference Matrix... Game number 2. To the upper left-hand side, of this is our Green Terran player, Aqueron. Interesting little game there on Automaton. That big push just not quite working for him in the end. Top right hand side, our red Protoss player is Hellraiser from Wolven Esports, Wolf Slayer. And obviously, again, Aqueron from Black Knight Esports, a team who were, again, nice enough to drop by the other day and drop a little bit of a donation and saying thanks for inviting our player to the tournament. It was a bribe! It was a bribe! No, it wasn't a bribe. They did it after I invited them, but it was a good little thing as we do get this set to go. Man, I really believe in that last fight as well. Like, I know there's advantages for the Protoss, but Hellraiser dealt with it right. He pulled away on the first matrices, he forced another one to come up. All of that bought him more time for more Zealots. And then by the time the tank sieged, the Marines were pushed away into a weird corner, and it just wasn't quite what Aqueron was hoping for there. As we do see the first probe being an annoyance in the early stages. Again, this is game 2 of the 2 maps that these guys will play against each other. SCV and a probe going at each other as well currently. It's just having a little bit of a skirmish there. Again, remember that every map point is so important because even advancing in second place versus first place is a huge difference in this group. I love the Protoss Colossus Laser GLHF being thrown down. Right now, obviously, we haven't seen any of TLO just yet, who's going to be like the second favorite player of this group. But in general, Stefano looking great so far, 5-1 in maps. Hellraiser going to be feeling pretty good as well right now, 3-2. Aqueron is 1-2, and Art is 0-4 currently, with a couple of games left to play. Again, after this, we're halfway through the group, guys, and as we're halfway through the group, we're going to start seeing some TLO games. So TLO games are going to start coming up here very soon, and it'll be TLO Stefano, our first matchup that we're going to be casting from TLO. That comes in after this match, after this series. We are going to have this Reaper just on the map, looking for the probe. It's actually a bit further towards the upper right side. Let's take the chance to talk a little bit about Reminiscence, shall we? So this is by the Young Rustler, and it comes in the standard category. There's Reaper just moving around through the left, looking to see what's going on. Engineering Bay dropping down from Aqueron in the back of the main base as well. We do just see a couple more barracks being added into. More gateways being put in from Hellraiser, so he's going to have 3 gates in total. And that Reaper just going to continue moving forwards. He is going to get attacked a little bit by this Stalker. A couple of shots going off. Engineering base starts the +1 attack upgrade already. So Aqueron with a pretty fast +1. I mean, he is going heavy on the rack, so it's heavy bio play. So the +1 will obviously do a lot for him. He's probably going to go into towards Stim Pack and get some really powerful timing going for himself here very soon. Now Robo Facility drops down from Hellraiser. His opening is not going to be anything too risky. What is interesting is he goes triple gateway before anything else. That is a bit different to usual, but it just is a really safe way to get going. What's up, Mjolky with the 38-month resub saying, hey boss. Hey Mjolky, how's it going? Thanks so much for the 38 months of love. Appreciate it. That's 3 years and 2 months. That's like 19 months twice over. It's incredible. Thanks for the 38. Combat shields and +1. Okay, so it's not Stim, which kind of makes sense, right? Because Stim would finish much later than +1. This is going to be a combat shields push, so purely Marines. I'm not going to push with +1 combat, but these Stalkers are so good against this. I mean, there's a lot of Stalkers. Bunker isn't ready, and these Stalkers can just kite so well. And right now, obviously, combat shields and +1 are not quite ready to go. Just going to be seeing these Marines trying to fire step before to get a couple of kills. He just needs this bunker. Aqueron starts to pull SCVs in this bunker. He's going to finish, and there's going to be 2 Marines in it. SCVs will be able to pull it back. There's actually a Marauder that shows up, which is obviously kind of essential right now. We'll get a couple of extra Stalker kills. 4 workers killed, a 12-worker lead here from Hellraiser. Aqueron getting back to mining. Obviously, the lost mining time will have an effect here as well. Will be something else that adds up in this scenario. These Marines still gathering together. More Marines and Marauders leaking on down to the low ground, to the natural forge. On the way up currently as we do see these Stalkers pressing up this ramp. And, well, again, these Marauders are going huge, picking their way through Stalkers at the moment. Stalkers continuously getting beat on, and they are going to be pushed away. couple of forges on the way up from Hellraiser in the back of the natural. So there's 2 forges come into play. We are going to be seeing 3 extra gateways on the way in the main. It's just everything Hellraiser needs to go into the next stage of this. The double forge will get him his upgrades. The Twilight brings in Blink. Maybe even just Charge at this point, because yes, he's got a lot of Stalkers, but Charge would actually work wonders in terms of moving on in this game and kind of dealing with the next stage of all of this. Salvages the bunker. Aqueron trying to get back everything he can. I mean, he's going to have no stim here, remember, so it's just combat shields +1 and concussive shells as he starts to push across the map. He'll have stim when he gets medevacs, but for now, it's just about number of units. Let's see if it works. He will have the +1 as well over the... It's currently 0-0 of his opponent, but obviously the time is ticking on that one with the forges spinning away over in the back of this natural. So those upgrades are starting to come through here. You see another couple of Stalkers coming up, Zealots gathering together too, and, well, this push from Aqueron is, I guess, more so a lot of the time kind of designed to take down a third base than to actually, rather than, yeah, much else really. I mean, you're kind of meant to just be able to take down a third, but without a third being here, Hellraiser set up nicely kind of against this style. Instead, you know, instead of taking a faster third Nexus and getting the economy, he's really focused on tech. 1-1 upgrades, obviously, the Immortal production, Charge on the way. And once he has all of that tech, holding that third Nexus becomes a lot easier. And you can already see, I mean, Aqueron now, his first medevacs will be on the way up, and that will allow him to go into the next stage of this alongside Stimpack, but we'll see what he can try and do. As a couple of tech labs going to be on the way up here. Marines do get an observer. Few Marines of Aqueron just going to pull off over to the side and try and go after this pylon here. So Hellraiser's just going to go for the pylon. I mean, this is nice. I mean, obviously Aqueron cleans up some pylons, he cleans up some map control. These are all good things about his play at the moment. Go up, he's on 5 racks. He's going into a second starport to deal with Colossus already. Wow, that or he wants some mass liberators. But even way. Double starport on just 2 bases usually doesn't happen. So it's a little bit interesting here as the 4 Zealots in the Prism obviously going to try and look and cause complications. Still on 2 bases, Hellraiser is in no rush to move up to a third. He's even going to pull this probe down and maybe thinking about taking the third base over here. Well, that Marine wants to get the kill and he will get the kill before it goes down. Zealots starting to unload, and it's a lot more Zealots to warp in as well. Aqueron's actually just already on his way back over. Sims his entire army to chase this. I mean, again, already 7 SCVs lost. But he knows there's no third Nexus, so in a way he's not really in a rush. He's just sort of like sat here waiting. Wants to maybe try and get that prison, but the Sim City doesn't help, and he gets a couple extra Zealots out with that recall than he might have usually been able to save. Now, Liberator is starting on these starports, but again, especially having pulled away his SCVs, doesn't currently have the gas income to really utilize both starports at the same time. So that does hurt a little bit. But just going to continue coming down towards the bottom right, getting ready to push on through. A Prism to the top with a few Zealots inside, looking to unload and to get some damage done, pushing in towards this natural expansion. Stalker here from Hellraiser. Moving up to the middle, and well, another couple of Zealots going to warp in as we do see the Marauders going after those Zealots. But a couple of Marauders out here aren't really enough. He will start to push forwards. Liberators will support. The force field's already good though. Now the Bio has to back away, and as he loses SCVs at home, Aqueron doesn't really do that much over here just yet. These Liberators will try and reposition, but one goes down during the re-siege. The second one re-sieging is going to get taken down as well. Gets one shot off it. It shouldn't be much more than that. Hellraiser, a couple of his shots going off on this factory that's flying overhead, but with 2 Colossus here, no real answer to them. Just +2 armor as well against +1/+1. It's, I mean, now +2 weapons as well. It only gets worse. The force fields are good, and Hellraiser was just sitting on 2 bases, and Aqueron, when he was trying to push across, got